inches away from the head of the victim, 19-year-old Cohen Boehm. A number of childhood friends spoke in favor of Boehm's character, saying he was an easygoing guy. They also spoke on Downs' personality, describing a tendency for violence, especially when intoxicated. They claimed Downs also has a history of physical threats to his friends with tools and firearms. One described an incident where Downs was caught cheating in poker and threatened to kill the accuser with a screwdriver, a starkly similar situation to the current allegations. If convicted, Downs could see 5 to 99 years to life in prison. Reporting live from the Calhoun County Courthouse in Port Lavaca, Trenton Whiting, KAVU-TV, 25 News Now.
Trenton, thank you. The Victoria ISD Superintendent Search Community Survey is now open to the public at visd.net. The Victoria ISD is inviting community members to take part in public meetings to help select a new superintendent. Meetings start Monday, August 5th at Shields Elementary and Allo Elementary. 2 more meetings set for August 6th and 1 more meeting Monday, August 19th. Over in Seadrift, Mayor Jesse Hubble and Councilman Jeffrey Hunt resigned from their post at a special city council meeting today. The council filed the vacant position by appointing Joni Mikolas. He will fill the rest of Hunt's term before needing to run for re-election next May. City Council will petition Governor Greg Abbott's office seeking to have a special election to fill that position of mayor. If the governor does not respond and the council does not appoint a mayor, the position could be open all the way until next May. VEDC Regional Partnership will be holding a meeting that will tell you what you need to know about the VISD Superintendent Search. It will be held tomorrow at 702 North Main Street, room 205, beginning at 7:30 a.m. And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Hurricane Debbie came ashore this morning, about 8 o'clock this morning in the Big Bend of Florida. It is right over the Georgia state line right about now. The tremendous rainfall. I mean, the 20 inches of rain are still possible. And then the flooding goes up into Georgia and South Carolina. We'll have the latest on that. We'll also be talking about how much hotter it's going to be getting this week here in the Crossroads. All that coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. Firefighters in Houston responded to the scene of an apartment fire that resulted in the death of 3 juveniles early Sunday morning. Officials say the initial call came in at 5:41 a.m. and the call reported an apartment fire with heavy flames and smoke coming from the unit. The Houston Fire Department chief said 4 people were inside. A 21-year-old was able to get out of the unit and transported to the hospital for minor injuries and breathing in smoke. The Red Cross has been notified to help the impacted families. Now, members of the Carrollton, Texas police force right outside Dallas dealt with a tense situation involving a teen in crisis. Now those officers are receiving recognition for the way they handled the situation and resolved it peacefully.
When Carrollton police responded to this apartment complex earlier this year, they knew they were dealing with a teen with autism who was wielding a knife.
Yeah, so we got a call that there was a kid who was in distress and his mom was the one who was calling us. He said several times, just shoot me, just shoot me.
Okay, I'm not here to hurt you, okay? Just put the knife down, okay?
It's moments like these Officer Matt Ryan and 2 other responding officers had trained for.
And some of the de-escalation tactics that were used on that scene specifically was whenever I did make contact with him, I just tried to talk in a calm voice.
It's okay, bud. I'm just here to help you, okay? I'm trying to help you, okay?
At one point, Officer Hoster, who was sitting next to me, informed me that he was a fan of Fortnite, and so I tried using that to kind of build a rapport with him.
You like Fortnite? What do you like to play on Fortnite?
And I told him if I put my gun away, if that would help him. And he kind of shook his head yes, so I wanted to make sure that there was nothing in his eyes that would distract him or freak him out.
Eventually, the officers were able to detain the teen and assured him that everything would be okay.
It's okay. You're okay. It's okay. You're okay.
Last week, the 3 officers who responded to this incident were recognized for their great work, receiving an achievement award from the police department.
Great to be recognized. That's obviously not the reason why we're out there doing what we do, but it is nice.
Ryan says he uses de-escalation tactics every day.
Whether it's traffic stops, family violence, any call for service.
And believes they truly make a difference in keeping people safe.
The Carlton Police Department says it is recruiting new officers in hopes anyone interested will apply. The next entrance exam is set for September 7th. Now remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News, now at 5. Biden issues urgent pleas for Democratic integrity and advocates for Supreme Court reform. Also ahead, Boeing executives will answer questions on January's in-flight door plug incident and missing documentation. Flight cancellations and delays continue to climb as now Tropical Storm Debbie moves over northern Florida. FlightAware shows more than 1,500 flights have now been canceled in the U.S. during the late morning hours on Monday. Flights leaving airports in Florida were hit the hardest. If flights aren't canceled out of Florida, chances are they will be delayed. The misery is more likely to continue as the storm makes its way into Georgia and South Carolina, where it is expected to dump potentially historic rainfall. With a re-election campaign in the rearview mirror, President Biden is using his remaining days in office to strengthen his legacy. He spent Monday in Texas pushing for big changes to the Supreme Court.
President Joe Biden hit the road for the first time since leaving the 2024 race, issuing an urgent plea to the country.
We can and must strengthen the guardrails of democracy.
Biden now in a new phase of his presidency, growing reflective about serving alongside the first black president and first woman vice president.
I've made clear how I feel about Kamala, and she's been an incredible partner to me, a champion of civil rights throughout her career.
Though he won't appear on the Democratic ticket, the president is pushing forward with plans that could motivate the progressive base of his party. With the backing of Harris, Biden is proposing changes to the nation's highest court, including an enforceable code of conduct and 18-year term limits.
We can and must prevent the abuse of presidential power and restore faith in the Supreme Court.
The president also calling for a constitutional amendment to limit the broad presidential immunity granted by the court's conservative majority last month in a controversial ruling involving former President Donald Trump.
The president is now a king above the law. Just imagine what a president could do in trampling civil rights and liberties given such immunity.
The reforms have virtually no chance of passing in this divided Congress. House Speaker Mike Johnson declaring the president's moves dead on arrival. Biden delivering his message at the LBJ Presidential Library in Austin, Texas, a site offering historical parallels between the two Democratic presidents. Before Biden, President Lyndon B. Johnson was the last president to abandon a re-election bid in an election year.
I shall not seek, and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president.
Today, the president celebrating Johnson's landmark Civil Rights Act, outlawing segregation and discrimination on the basis of race, signed 60 years ago.
These three acts have made this nation fundamentally more fair, fundamentally more just, and most importantly, fundamentally more consistent with our founding principles.
Biden now hoping to leave his own imprint on the country as his time in office winds down.
If Biden's long-shot Supreme Court reforms do go through, he'd become the first president in generations to alter how the court operates. Boeing executives are set to face national questions from the National Transportation Safety Board on Tuesday. The NTSB is holding 2 days of public testimony on January's in-flight door plug blowout. The airline's Senior Vice President of Quality, Elizabeth Lund, and Vice President of Supplier Quality, Doug Ackerman, are scheduled to appear. According to the agenda, the board is planning to ask about the lack of documentation that led to the plane being delivered to Alaska Airlines without critical bolts in place. COVID-19 cases are on the rise again in the U.S. Emergency department visits linked to the virus have been increasing for weeks. Take a look.
Right now, it's the most common COVID-19 variant in the U.S. KP3, a descendant of the Omicron variant, is spreading across the country. And if it's been a while since you've been vaccinated, you may be vulnerable.
Immunity, we're learning, lasts around 4 to 6 months. So keep that number in the back of your mind. That is probably the reason that we're seeing a summer surge as the protection wears off from the last set of shots.
The 2024-25 COVID-19 vaccines, expected to be out this fall, will target the JN1 strain. Because it too is in the Omicron family, experts expect it to provide protection against strains currently circulating. The CDC recommends everyone ages 6 months and older receive an updated vaccine to protect against getting severely sick from COVID-19, especially those who are most vulnerable, including those who are immunocompromised, have underlying health conditions, certain disabilities, and seniors.
Also, there's been a lot of discussion recently about a combination shot, COVID and flu. Maybe you've heard about this. It would be COVID and flu in the same shot. Moderna, the pharma company, had some positive trial results with that combination earlier this summer, but we're learning it's not going to be ready for this fall.
The CDC says it is safe to receive the COVID-19 and flu vaccines at the same time. Experts recommend you get both before the end of October. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A teacher created a Facebook page for teachers to share classroom supply lists they need for this school year. You can read this full article on our website, crossroadstoday.com. Leading us to your viewer poll this afternoon. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote. The question is, do you think teachers receive a sufficient budget to cover all necessary supplies? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. And now here's Mac.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. For us in the Crossroads, late this afternoon, 1 or 2 little showers are rolling around. Catch one if you can, because otherwise it's hot. Looking at 97 right now, it feels like 106. And of course, our high was 97 today, and that compares to 96, our average daytime high for this time of year. Well, you're not going to believe this when I tell you, but it's going to be getting even hotter this week. We'll probably see our first 100-degree high temperature. That and the latest on Debbie coming up in a moment. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Late this afternoon, we popped a couple of little showers down south. There's in Matagorda County. You can see that little shower coming just south of Edna right about now. You may see it, in the distance. These are, garden variety showers. They'll be lasting for another 20 minutes. I don't expect them to get any serious than that. In fact, once the sun goes down, they'll probably collapse, and hopefully you got a little bit of rain in your neighborhood. Other than that, it's just plain old hot. And the thing is, and I'm not kidding when I tell you this, because I don't kid, it's going to be getting even hotter. Now, I'll tell you why in a moment, but first let's see what's going on the East Coast. This is, of course, now Tropical Storm Debbie. Debbie was a hurricane this morning when it came ashore up there near the Swami River. It is already produced the record amount of rainfall that we predicted last week. Already 8 to 16 inches of rain have fallen, and guess what? Tonight it's going to rain and rain and rain over that area because the storm has slowed down, and it's going to drift eventually out over sea, and then it's going to strengthen and hit South Carolina. So this is not over with just yet. Now you see this big splotch right here. There was one computer model. We have like about 10 of them that predicted a spin up of a tropical system coming through here. Now, that would be way far south, and also, I said, I don't think it's coming to Texas because it's going to get pushed down by the ridge of high pressure. That's still my forecast, and other computers have not jumped on board with this one, so I'm going to say I wouldn't worry about it right about now. If anything changes, obviously I will let you know. Here are the tropical storm watches all the way up to Charleston, and look at the path of the storm. It goes over northern Florida, Georgia state line, finally drifts out over Savannah, gets in the Atlantic, strengthens back up again, and moves back up into the Carolinas. This is going to be a huge problem. Tomorrow you're going to see and hear about massive flooding over lots of Florida. They're talking towns that are almost below water right now, as this is very fast, tremendous rainfall on a flat area, has nowhere to go, so it piles up. So there's the storm system as it winds up through that area, and you can see very clearly how it slowed down as it made landfall. Let's do that again. One more time. It comes out here, it's moving up, and then sort of stays right there. So that's why the rainfall has been so impressive and will continue to be impressive tonight into tomorrow before it finally moves out of that area. Well, as far as they're concerned, this is what has already fallen. In the northwest quarter of Florida, they've already had the 15 inches of rainfall above the 7 to 10. Looks like Miami got almost nothing, but it's all been northern Florida. You can see it right about there. And then, of course, now Georgia. Georgia's going to get almost as much rainfall. So from Savannah all the way up to Augusta, they're going to be dealing with torrential downpours. Now, here's the big thing. High pressure is over us. That's why it's going to consolidate and get us more heat. It's going to push that thing away, and whatever comes in this direction will be pushed to the south. I bet my hat on that one. All right, so sunny skies, no major changes for us. Lots of sun. High temperatures getting hotter, 95 tomorrow, and get a load of your 7-day. We're going to get into 99 by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. We're looking at right at 100 degrees high temperature. That is 3 days in a row. So let's get ready for the heat wave that's coming even at us. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody, we do have a QR code. If you scan that with your phone, you can put Crossroads Today on your cell phone. That's it from this front. We'll toss it back to Karina.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up next on 25 News Now 5, we're going to take a look at your stocks. Plus, CrowdStrike fires back at Delta after facing backlash over a disruptive software glitch. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow down 1,033 points, the S&P 500 down 160 points, and the Nasdaq down 576 points. Oil down 58 cents, closing at $72.94 per barrel. Elon Musk is reopening a legal battle over AI. Musk, co-founder of OpenAI in 2015, accused the company of abandoning its nonprofit mission by reserving advanced AI technology for private customers. The initial lawsuit was filed in California state court, while the new one is in federal court in Northern California, alleging OpenAI is engaging in racketeering. OpenAI did not respond to a request for comment, but called Elon's original claims incoherent back in March. CrowdStrike responding to Delta after the airline CEO blamed the cybersecurity firm for costing it millions of dollars. A flawed CrowdStrike software update on July 19th caused widespread outages at Delta and other companies globally. Delta is threatening public litigation, accusing CrowdStrike of not assisting during the meltdown. CrowdStrike's legal counsel denied the allegations, stating Delta ignored its offers of help while other airlines restored their operations faster. Delta has yet to respond to the lawsuit. And stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast from Mac when we come back. Plus, Dolce & Gabbana is releasing a new fragrance, but it's not who you think it is for. Plus, here's a look at world news tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
Coming up, Debbie barrels through Florida and takes aim at Georgia and South Carolina, and the worst may be yet to come with potentially historic flooding. Vice President Harris nears a decision on a running mate, and stocks plunge. What may be ahead for the economy? Next.
news for dogs. Dolce & Gabbana have released a designer fragrance for dogs. It's called Fifi in honor of Dolce's canine of the same name. The perfume is, quote, a masterpiece featuring a touch of musk and the creamy undertones of sandalwood. A bottle of Fifi costs $109 and it comes with a Dolce & Gabbana collar and tag. I'd be more inclined to buy it if they made one for my dog's bad breath, because Bambi's breath smells like 10 cans of beans.
Oh,
quite frankly.
So I think they make toothpaste for dogs, but this is the Dolce & Gabbana. Okay, and people are going to buy that?
Somebody out there will.
$109, that's crazy.
Where there's a product, there is a audience.
Yeah, anything for their puppies.
Yeah. Would you buy it for your puppy?
No, not at that price.
Not that price?
$2 maybe, I could do that. But anyway, my guy smells good, so he's great. All right, folks, I'm not doing this to make you feel bad. It's just that it was hot. It was a hot weekend, right? It's going to get even hotter this week. We're looking to push the first 100-degree temperatures of the season coming in by maybe Thursday or Friday, and it's a very steamy weekend as well. Of course, on the East Coast, they've got Debbie. Debbie will continue rolling up toward Florida to Atlanta, Georgia, and then North Carolina. So that one is not over with just yet.
What did you call it? Biblical rains?
That's what I called it last week. Biblical rains. I mean, we're talking deluges.
Dang, well, hang in there. And thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6.